Ringside seat on the sports box is back after what feels like a Brock Lesnar-esque break. As we were prepping for this, we realized we hadn't done a show since last April, which, believe me when I tell you, was really not by design. It's just life happens, and that's it. So, ringside seat, Brian Dunn, Lou Bertacia, and myself, Brian Attard, on the show tonight. Anthony and Mike couldn't make it. We'll try to get them in as they can find time, but we can't. The show must go on.
Show must go on. The
if
old adage in wrestling,
the show must go on.
What's it say on the bottom of the ticket? Subject to card subject to change.
Card subject to change, right?
Card subject to change is good.
Somebody couldn't make it. Their flight didn't work. Anyway, like, follow, and share. Got a lot to talk about this evening as we get back into the saddle again, to quote the
hashtag Sportsbox, hashtag ringside seat, people.
Yes, Badass Pro Wrestling. Check out Mike's Instagram. It's phenomenal. It's all good stuff there. And, you know, we chose a really good time. There's our buddy Tim. What's up, brother? How are you?
Tim.
I think he was one of the more excited ones that I told we were going to do the show.
Tim, I got to give you my new number, buddy. I'm sorry.
He's like, thank God I only follow you for this nonsense that you don't do anymore. So, guys, a lot to talk about. It's WrestleMania season. That's the next PLE. Again, it wasn't by design, but we're here. So a lot to talk about. First things first. There are reports, reportedly, that ticket sales for WrestleMania 42 are on the slower end. Now, you can attribute that possibility to a number of things. People say, hey, you're charging way too much for tickets. I can see that. They've actually, I think, probably doubled from WrestleMania 40 to 42. There are people who say, hey, you're going back to Las Vegas for a second year in a row. I can see that too. So, with a 25% off promo for WrestleMania, which I got to tell you, that's still surprising. Your guys' takes again. So, A, do you think it was a mistake to go back to Vegas for a second year in a row? And B, do you think that the price of tickets plays a role?
And don't forget to the first hour on each night is the first hour is free on ESPN too.
That's like a UFC trick.
Well, I mean, listen, you don't give WrestleMania for free under any circumstance, and the fact that they're giving away even a piece of it tells you everything you need to know. But no, I don't necessarily.
So to Tim, I am a heel, right? And that's okay, right?
Tim tolerates the heels.
That's fine. It's all good stuff.
I feel like you're like that. You're like that. You're like a Stone Cold type of heel. You're not really a bad guy. You're not really a good guy. You're just like
you're the guy.
You just exist. You're just the guy. Yes. I don't think necessarily
of all people to show.
I don't think that going to Las Vegas was necessarily a bad thing per se, because no matter where it is, it's people are going to go to WrestleMania. I think that's two things are happening with WWE. The ticket sales, or even the perception of the ticket sales, being astronomical, and the product largely it's not in a good place right now. So I think like part of WrestleMania is like, yeah, it's you know what you're getting into, you know what you're going to watch, you know what's going to happen, and it's like we're going to talk about this later. It's like you're confused, we're confused about what's going on, we don't know what's going on. Then with the ticket prices on top of it, and it's like people just really like that, and with the whole shenanigans with how to even watch it on pay-per-view, people may.
Brian, you see him going in and out, or is that just
he's lagging bad? Yeah, I thought it was our end, but no, Lou, you're lagging. I'm just gonna let you know that, bud.
You might want to. Yeah, that was you. I just got you.
Refresh. Yeah.
No, that's okay.
While he's doing that,
he'll fix that. Just any thoughts on Dave's comment here? Because I don't disagree.
No, I don't think you're a scumbag. I think you're the bag.
Appreciate it. All right.
Anyway,
I think Lou's back in. Okay.
So I 100% agree with you. A lot of it has to do with the card is just not settled. It's not open, or it's open. It's not. You know, maybe 3 matches on the card that you're going to get. You know, your main event night 2 is set in stone. Roman Punk. A part of me wants to say that going to the same venue hurts. But I don't think it's going to hurt their end. I mean, it's Vegas. It's a huge huge money grabber. So they're going to make their money regardless. Ticket prices are ridiculous for everything. It's not just WWE. It's ridiculous for the World Cup. They had to lower prices and give a promo code. They're ridiculous at concerts. So we live in a society, in a world right now where everything is inflated still. So as far as wrestling goes, I don't know. I know we can talk about this more, but it's just been a little stale. So
I think it's a group of things, right? What I will say is this: I was surprised that they went back to Vegas a second year in a row. It's the first time they've done that since Atlantic City at WrestleMania's 4 and 5. But I think here's the thing. They talk about this idea that they've tried to make their cornerstone events these vacation type things, right? Where you go to SmackDown and you go to Mania and you go to Mania and you go to Raw and, maybe they do NXT and they do the WWE World. They do all of these things, right? But the problem when you go back to the same place 2 years in a row is, well, we just did that. Right? So when you move it around the country or around the world, you create a different venue, right? So if you happen to do it in, fill in the blank, Chicago, Montreal, I don't care, right? The point of it is, if you're a wrestling fan and you say, oh, hey, it's in Seattle this year, I'm going to go to Seattle. I've never been to Seattle, whatever. The point is, unless you're a Disney moron like me, you don't necessarily go 3-4 times a year, right? Or consecutive years. It was just in Vegas, right? So you're not going to go again and make this big trip out of going to the same place 12 months later that you just did. It's the same thing. Right.
Especially with the amount of money you're going to be spending for
absolutely. I mean, Vegas is great because of the infrastructure. Vegas is great because you got hotel rooms everywhere and there's lots of things to do.
Casinos.
And the fact that you're doing so when Mania was in Philly in 40, right? And I did the whole 4 nights. And it was great. But the problem was, like, the Hall of Fame was after SmackDown on Friday night. And by the time midnight rolls around, like, you're kind of shot, so you just leave. Like, we left when I think it was Bull Nakano was talking. So we missed the whole thing with The Rock and the Muhammad Ali belt. We were there, obviously, for Paul, right? And, that's fine. Lou, which one of my screens am I using for you here?
Hold on. Let me get out of this.
I got... Okay.
There we go.
There you go. He's better now.
Yeah. So anyway. So that's, to me, like, too much of the same thing. And I think they'll learn from this, right? There was talk when TKO took over that they wanted Mania in Vegas like 3 out of 10 years type thing. Because again, like, UFC knows Vegas perfectly. They have a lot of events there. But it's different, right? Like, it's a arena show. Like, you can do that. You can't do a stadium show at this price point with that many people in the same venue year after year. I think that was a short-sighted mistake. I think you don't have this problem if it stayed in New Orleans the way it was supposed to stay. Hadn't been in New Orleans since WrestleMania 34, if my memory serves me right. So, and even that, they did 30, then they did 34. Like, there were a couple years in between. You can go back to places. You just can't go back to places the next year. Like, we just saw this movie. You know what I mean? That's I guess my take on it.
Bruce, no, I 100% agree. It's
yeah, I don't know about 14 matches both days, Bruce. I heard it as they were going to do like 16 total, which is like 8 per night.
You can't. I think 8 each night is more than enough. I know the days of having a 20 match card is kind of over now that you have 2 nights. I know some people were talking about going back to 1 night.
Never happened.
I don't think you can now because you've already introduced this, and plus you have your summer festivity. SummerSlam is now 2 nights now. So because your biggest event of the year, the Super Bowl of wrestling is now 2 events, you have to keep it that way. So you guys, I agree in a way it should be the biggest night of the year, but it's 2 nights. That's what you got, and that's what you're stuck with. So.
Sorry about the audio issues there.
No, you're good.
Good.
Did you want to rehash any of the take that nobody heard?
I think
Hogan's still the third man, Lou.
Yeah.
Was he the third man? No,
Whose side is he on?
I was saying, I don't really think that Las Vegas necessarily hurt them. I just think that it was a combo of and I don't know, what you guys discussed while I was off, but it's definitely a combo of the perceived ticket prices and the product being like, it's not in a good spot right now. So like, one really doesn't have any incentive to like make that a destination this year, just because it hasn't been good at all,
I would be curious what your thoughts until Brian gets back. So let's just say we flipped the cards of 41 and 42, and 42 was John Cena's last WrestleMania, right? I think that is a differentiator.
Yes.
That maybe 100%. Because again, it was almost like it was like they went all out last year to have that, which didn't really play out very well, if we're being honest, right? And I think to Mike's point, who the last WrestleMania it wasn't that good, right? And there's reasons for that.
Yeah,
but you like what is the allure of this compared to last year? Like if you went to last year's, conceivably this is not as big as last year's.
Yeah.
So why am I going to go again?
Right. I
it
think
would be to see something different, to go to a different U.S. city or somewhere else around the world, if that's the case.
Right. And I think also too, like I was I think the lone wolf on this, that the nostalgia train for John Cena was like, it should have been held in high regard. And I think having him a part of last year's WrestleMania was definitely the main driving force. I know, like, we're fans of wrestling. Sure. And I know last year, the main reason I wanted to watch WrestleMania was to see John Cena. But again, with wrestling too, we also have to, like, I was talking to my wife about this the other day. A lot of times the buildup and not even a lot of times, like 99% of the time, far outweighs the actual match. It's like the buildup to, is The Rock coming? Is Travis Scott coming? What's going to happen? The allure of having The Rock come back too last year was like a high, but at this point we know he's not coming back. We know there's no retirement tour. AJ retired. There's really, and again, we don't have a card except for really 2 matches. Well, really the 4 women's the title matches. Other than that, we don't have anything. So it's like,
there is an adage in stock trading of buy the rumor, sell the news.
Yeah,
which we'll get to that in a minute. I have a kind of a take on that kind of idea. Yeah. But again, I just think that there's a lot working against this year's event. The return to the same exact place, which takes out some people who would normally go, hey, Rangers scored a goal. Shocking. The overall feeling that it's just not as big because this is not John Cena's last WrestleMania. We saw that movie. So they're sometimes a victim of their own success in that, because they pull all the stops out last year, it's always a can you top this, and a lot of times you can't. Like that's, you're not going to be able to top that. So look, I mean, at some point tickets will sell. We're not in the environment anymore in the world where ticket prices are stagnant. They're kind of dynamic. So look, they'll lower prices if they have to. They'll fill the arena. They're going to make their money anyway. They've got money coming in from ESPN and everything else. So listen, trust me, they ain't going broke.
Sure.
But I do think that if the cards were reversed, number one, or two, if it was a different venue, you could get those prices.
Yeah.
Because again, I mean, look, we went to WrestleMania 40. I went to SummerSlam. Look, it's not inexpensive by any means. I don't think it should be inexpensive by any means. It is a premium event. This is the Super Bowl for all intents and purposes. So I'm okay with the idea that it should be a premium price, because the reality of it is this, and I make this case all the time. If not, the tickets would get bought and scalped anyway.
Sure.
So the price is whatever the market will bear. Did they overprice it? That's possible, but then they can bring it down. They control that. If they underprice it, sell the tickets, and then they go in the secondary market for thousands of dollars more, well, there's nothing in it for them, right? So, going to a Yankee game costs you more than going to a Met game. That's reality, right? It's it's just the market and things that we're in.
But it's definitely Brian too. It's definitely a sour taste, because like with the ESPN, with nobody knowing how to watch it, with all the sudden changes, is like, bro, what is going on with WWE? I think all of that plays a factor. And then we may discuss this later or not, but I think WrestleMania is not as shiny as it once was. It's really not, unless you have that for years it was the Streak, and then that was gone. Then you just had, WrestleMania itself had an allure still, but then, it's like there's nothing marquee to grab you to want to even, we're going to watch it because we're fans of it, but it's like the outside fan, there's nothing to it as of now,
It's kind of like the video game where it's all hyped up, and then you get home, you play it, and you're like, really? I wasted $60 for this crap?
60. I paid $150 for the game coming out tomorrow.
Well, I'm not saying the wrestling game. I'm just saying, yeah, that's insane.
That's life. My solo thought of the evening is this idea of in wrestling, perception versus reality versus perception, and it's kind of this vicious circle, right? And it's very much, I think, a social media driven thing because everybody has a chance to share their thoughts with the world, just like we do. We are not immune to this by any stretch. In fact, we probably help promote this idea. But at the end of the day, shows just like this, people just like you, fans of this art form around the world, come up with these ideas in their head of what should happen or who should show up. And it all sounds great, right? Because we're fans of the product. We've watched it for many, many years, and we think we can book better than they do. That's whatever. And we come up with these great ideas, and then we watch the show. And we go into the show with this idea of here's what we think should happen, and we have tunnel vision of what we think should happen. And then they do what they do. And regardless of what they do, it's not what we thought, so it stinks. It doesn't matter how good it is. It wasn't what we thought they should do. Of the 2,000 different variations of the thoughts that we thought they should do, it wasn't any of them. So screw that. That was terrible. Chris Jericho didn't show up at the Royal Rumble. Neither did Paige. They haven't brought over, I don't know, fill in the blank AEW star has not shown up. Whatever it is. But that wasn't what they were doing anyway. So we hold them responsible for not having the ideas that we had, right? And it's like, well, but that wasn't what they were doing anyway. Like you created this idea in your head, and then they're just upset that reality didn't meet your perception. Okay,
yeah.
And then it sucks, obviously, because it wasn't good. No matter what it was, it just wasn't good. And then, because Jericho didn't show up, that must mean that this is going to happen over here now, right? So we get back to our perception of the reality that we just saw, and now we draw further ideas of what they really meant when they meant nothing of the sort, right? It's like you draw your own side quests and side ideas from what they're just handing to you on a silver platter. And I forget who tweeted it, but it was something lines like, like this guy will do an arm bar and some jerk on the internet will give you 1,000-word essay as to what that really meant. Really, arm bar, right? Like again, now it's back to our perception again. It's, they must have meant this. It could not be that simple idea that they actually did. What they really meant was the following, and you'll create this entire alternative universe from this minuscule moment in a match that had no impact on anything, but that's what you think, which leads to the next reality, which wasn't anything close to what you thought. So now you're mad again. It's this constant circle that again, and I do think social media has exacerbated this, because even back in the day, right? Again, we came up with the Attitude Era. So I don't know about you. I turn 42 tomorrow. Back in the day, it was ninth grade homeroom was the day after Raw. That's what we talked about, and it was the best.
Yeah,
it's never going to be like that again. But then, that was so awesome. It was just friends group talking to each other. So even if we had ideas, we had no way to bestow them upon the world, and nobody gave a shit.
Yeah,
so
you couldn't wait for next week's Monday night's episode.
Absolutely.
Right.
But we live now in this kayfabe is dead, where now that we're smart to what's going on, we think we know where they're going before they actually go there. But the fact is, we don't know jack shit. We have an idea of what we think they should do, which is not what they're going to do anyway. We're going to get mad that it wasn't, and then think of something else. So my point in all of this big circle of death is we're never satisfied.
Sure.
And it's not their fault. It's our fault. They never said Chris Jericho was showing up at the Royal Rumble. They never said anything. They never even really. The best is when look, the WWE posted a match from Jericho from 10 years ago. That must mean he's coming. Well, no, idiot. That's what you thought. There's no basis in reality. So again, I think it kind of ties into the whole Mania's having problems with everything is because it's just not what we envision. So we shit on what it is when what it is what they intended, but it doesn't matter because we already pre-wrote the story and then the story didn't happen. So this sucks. That's just my soapbox of the day because it just drives me. Again, I'm in the same boat. Like, that was all right. But like in our minds, we just build it up to what we hope it is. Then whatever it actually is never meets that threshold. So it's terrible. And everybody thinks wrestling sucks as a result.
You good?
I am.
You say how you really feel.
That's all I ever do. And everybody gets mad at me all the time. It's great.
I mean,
I have no filter. I don't care. I do not care. I run Blue Truth. It's a New York Rangers. As I'm a huge Rangers fan, as you probably can tell. And somebody's telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, and really they're just dumb. So I just pulled the $1 Million Man line and said, "Oh well, I'm rich and you're not. So fuck off." Anyway.
So to comment on that, perception versus reality. Perception is the people on there that go and tweet and post the stuff on Instagram and social media. And what's the number one title that we talk about started? Rumors. Oh, there's a video of Jericho leaked. This means he's definitely coming at this point. And as fans, we do want to believe it and we get our hopes up or we want to see it. But that's the perception side. Reality is we get a box at Elimination Chamber and some freaking Dracula-looking character comes out and he puts a curse on somebody. I'm sorry. I'm over gimmicks. All right, we have 2 Grande Americanos. I feel like we should have a Starbucks channel for WWE right now. I'm nothing wrong with Starbucks. I'm just saying. But
what? Did you just badmouth Starbucks?
No, I'm saying there's nothing wrong.
There's lines we don't cross on this show. Okay?
No blurred.
You want to make off-color jokes? You go right ahead. We don't talk about that.
So my point is, I feel like we're gotten back trapped in like early 90s where you have your main guys, then you have all these other talented guys. What do you do with them now? They have no plan for anybody that they just brought in, a Hobbs or a poor Obafemi, who is a definite primetime guy.
In the making.
Have to make him the future. To me, they destroyed, and our good friend Mike will definitely finally take my side on this. They've destroyed Braun Breaker's character. They really have. He is just a minuscule part of the vision now. You have guys that should be in tag teams going for main event, and they're in the Royal Rumble when they shouldn't be. There's just so many mistakes. I know you posted earlier, Brian James was gone. Maybe they got to start cleaning house with some of the writers because they're just gotten repetitive and stale, and they feel like they're going back to years ago where they're just like, well, we'll fill it with this. You know, it's like you have your, what do they do it? It's the storyboard, right? You're creating a story. You throw ideas at it. Well, this one sticks. Well, it's a peach on a farm. How vulnerable can that be, to quote Elf, right? Putting a guy like, I don't know, throw a name out there that's a gimmick right now, or a guy that just shouldn't be involved in something. Putting him in a match at WrestleMania where you could have somebody else that's going to draw more fans in the seats or more attention, you got to build on that. I'm not saying there's not spots for those kind of guys, but that's where you put those guys in the house shows or maybe the hour before Raw starts, put them in a speed championship. I don't know, whatever you want to do, but you gotta build on what you have, and they're not doing that. And that's all. That's the reality. The perception is we think this is going to happen. The reality is we get the opposite, and we become pissed off, and then we see shit on Raw.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what too? Like now, you know, the part of the Attitude Era that was fantastic was like you had moments where Stone Cold and The Rock, even though at the time they weren't the megastars that they became, at the time they were feuding for the IC title, and the IC title they were throwing each other into rivers and bodies of water. Like it made the story. Like I remember distinctly Chainsaw Charlie Terry Funk coming in, teaming with Cactus Jack to face the New Age Outlaws. They threw him into the dumpster, threw it off the side of like these menial stories. There was a story there for why Chainsaw Charlie wanted to hit Road Dogg Jesse James. Now it's like with this kayfabe era that's dead, it's like it's either you get the main title or you're trash. But you know, if that it's like, and that's part of it too. Like where when Roman Reigns first won the Royal Rumble, I remember distinctly he was getting pushed, and nobody wanted it because it's like, brother, you had a feud with the Big Show, you skipped over everything in the middle, and now you're going for the main title. Like, no, man, like let's start. Like I was even thinking about this thinking about the show. Who are the tag team champions? Does anybody know? I don't know who the tag team champions are.
I think it's the Usos.
You know who I know it's not? The Wyatt Six. Thank God for that. The Wyatt Six are out of here. Thank goodness for that. But, Don, like you were saying, it's like you got to build with what you have. And it's like, but then it goes back to now you only want 4 matches on a pay-per-view. Now you want, in a 3-hour Monday Night Raw, you want 25 minutes of wrestling and you fill the rest with storyline. It's like you have to get, I want to see Chelsea Green in a story. I want to see her fight whoever, not Cardi B, whatever the other one is, the B one, B-Fab. Give them a story.
I'd actually rather see Cardi B if we're being honest.
Yeah,
that's got legs.
So it's like there's nothing, again, there's nothing compelling outside of the main event scene. And then now you're rehashing CM Punk, you're rehashing Roman, you're rehashing Brock, you're rehashing Seth coming back every time he gets hurt, he has his grandiose return and he's back in the main event picture. It's like we got to do something outside of the main event to make the whole show worth it.
But do you think? Let me pause. That's coming up later in the show. So let me not jump ahead. Don, any thoughts? Any closing?
No, he's right, but to add on and to not criticize, but to comment what he said about. He's right. I mean, you get 3-4 matches on Raw, and then the rest of it's all filler time. But are they storylines, really? Like, you're getting, backstage interview with Kathy Redmond here. Then you might have Heyman come out and do something, which, of course, he will turn to gold, right? I mean, he's one of the best ever to do it, if not the best. But then it's kind of like you have these, again, and I go back to these just, I don't want to call them mid-card, but like secondary guys, and they're backstage and they're doing an interview or they're talking to this one and I'm going to Adam Pearce and I'm going to make this official. Now it's going to be it. No one's excited about it though, because now what you're doing is you're getting 2 guys that they have a disagreement over what though? What are they pissed about? Did he hit him with a chair in the backstage? No. Did he get interfered in the match the week before? No. You're not telling a story within a story. And that's what they were so, Roll Tide, that's what they were so good about in the past.
Jackie Redmond's a good hockey girl, too.
She's a damn good hockey girl. They lost that. And because they lost that, it's like watching milk go bad. And it don't.
Well, that's what I mean. Good. Like, you could do, like, instead of giving me a 15-minute video package of summarizing the last 4 weeks of show, give me that reason. We trained in the same training house and you disrespected my father 15 years ago and I want my now. Something like that.
But I think, but how much of the production and the way it's fed to you is a result of the world that we live in, where people don't always watch everything all the time. So I think they feel this necessity of having to repeat themselves to get you up to speed all the time, because of the assumption is that you didn't necessarily watch the last 2 weeks. And if you missed that spot, and part of that, and I'm pretty sure like this is how Netflix does their things. Like, you constantly are reminded of the story because they think you're an idiot and you probably forgot, or you were just too busy, scrolling and you're half paying attention. So they got to get I do think that we're all guilty of comparing things all the time to how things were. And this, by no means, it's not a political statement by any means. I think we're too quick in today's world to look at things that happened before through the lens of today. And I think that it doesn't work, right? Like, you always hear, oh, this show from 40 years ago is this ism or that ist. Well, things were different back then, right? I'm not saying it's okay. What I'm saying is that's just what it was. So you can't judge the art by today's lens when things are so different. If things were reversed, I think we're all insane the way things in the world are today, right? So they're trying to put a product out for what they perception of their audience. And do we get more longer term storylines now? I think on occasions we do, maybe not as much as we should, but remember that, in 1990, there were 4 pay-per-views and there wasn't a Monday night show or whatever it was more like a recap type thing. And you're watching Saturday morning, like there was just less TV to fill. So you could, for the same amount of airtime, you could get 6 months out of something.
And you had to watch because there was no Instagram or Twitter to watch the clips. Sure. That makes sense.
That's back in the day how you would have to tape Nitro or go back and forth. Like it was just like it's the way, again, that's goes by the way the rotary phone, like it doesn't exist
right
anymore.
As technology advances and then the way the world advances with social media, sometimes it's not as always good.
Yeah. By the way, Danhausen, his first night on the job, his curse worked. So give it time.
Did work.
Give it time. Danhausen is coming.
Who do you prefer, Danhausen or Damhausen?
That was good. That was good.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
I had that in my bag of tricks.
I just want to apologize to our viewers. I didn't get the memo. I wore a Punk shirt about the New York sports team night.
I'll buy you a shirt.
I'll go get an Islanders or a Mets.
No, New York.
No, I'll never be caught dead in a Mets shirt. Never mind.
Get the Mets out of here, please.
Yeah. So if you don't know,
I'll wear a Knicks jersey.
There's the New York A teams and the New York B teams.
Yeah.
There's the Rangers, Yankees,
B.
Giants, Knicks, and then there's the Islanders, Mets, Jets, and Nets. And if you like the B teams, well, God bless you, but that you didn't have friends in high school. So that's kind of the nature of it. Tim says every generation of wrestling thought things the previous generation were killing the business that wrestling wasn't the same when we were kids. It's kind of like music. Everyone thinks the music of their high school and college years was the best, which everyone else is wrong but me, because clearly from 98 to 04 was the peak of music. Anyway, it's just you're not largely not wrong. Of course I'm not. The more you talk to me, you realize I'm very rarely ever.
A good error.
It's funny how that works. But yeah, that was just my thought around everything. I think everyone. I think it's cool to be negative.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like and it's not even heel, right? Like, listen, I play a social media heel better than anybody I know, and I know a lot of people. But it's like if you get the humor, it's funny. If you don't, you're just a moron. Like to be anti, like, oh, wrestling sucks all the time. Like, well, like go to hell. Like, then don't watch anything. Nobody cares. Like, no, your opinion, is that what you think? It doesn't matter what you think. Like, it doesn't,
Sure.
Yeah, it's like the person that watches, or let's just say the female that watches like the Real Housewives. Are you going to always have drama every episode? No. Probably not.
I don't like AEW, so I don't watch it. Well, why would I watch something I don't like to then be negative about it? Like, how boring is my life that I'm going to subject myself to 2 hours of nonsense I don't care for to then go online and talk to people that I don't know about how bad it is?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Perception versus reality.
So let me ask this perception. Is Drew McIntyre a main eventer?
No. No.
I don't think so. Not at this point. No, he was when he was doing that heel work against CM Punk. He definitely raised his stock, but something about him just doesn't scream main. He's like that high. He's like that B plus that just. He's always there in the
B plus
player, but he's not really an A tier guy. But he's amazing at what he does. I don't think he's main event.
Do you think we're never going to see him as wrestling fans in that perspective because of his past failures and the way he was booked?
So I think that there is some correlation between him and Austin Theory in that, like, he's always going to be that guy. Like, no matter what coat of paint you put on the house, like it was, you ever like drive by like an old Pizza Hut and it was a Pizza Hut and now it's like a bank or like an off religious church or something, like you never heard.
Yeah.
Like but it's a Pizza Hut, right?
Yeah.
Like you go buy a Wawa,
You know the red
Wawa.
roof.
I
and
don't
the
care
red-
if you make it a weed store. It's a fucking Wawa.
It's a
Okay,
Wawa.
like don't tell me what it wasn't, right?
Yeah.
Like he's always gonna be that chosen one / 3MB kind of like he's not. He's never gonna break. He's never gonna escape those charges, right?
That's a very good analogy. He is that old Wawa store that is now a dispensary,
but it's
but
the
it's
same
still the
thing with
shell
Austin
of a
Theory,
Wawa.
right?
But you know what, Brian? Though, but you know what? I think the problem with today's crop of superstar is that outside of like Cody and CM Punk, really, everyone has fallen under the thumb of Roman Reigns. Nobody could get to that next level. Nobody can get past the next level because Roman Reigns had such a tight grip on everything. You didn't give somebody else the chance to.
Oh, you mean John Cena?
Was that?
Oh, you mean Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Stone Cold Steve
Right.
Austin,
Oh, you mean Hulk
right.
Hogan?
Yeah, because there's nobody.
There's always that guy. There's always that brass ring.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, there's the WWE has done a poor job of making, and that's what I was mentioning earlier. Nobody has made themselves with the in the mid card to like, oh, there's something there to that guy. I want to see him go to the next level, and I think Drew McIntyre, because he won the title during COVID, and he was the man against CM Punk. That heel work was world class. I think it's just with Roman being around, nobody could eclipse Roman, and even he came back and boom, main event of WrestleMania, and he's on the Brock Lesnar train of taking time off too.
Okay, why can't we do that with Drew McIntyre? What's two things about him, in my opinion, that is flawed in his character? And I think you know, Brian. I think you know.
I mean, he's got the look.
He has the
He's
look.
got the look. He's got the moves. He's a power guy. I
You
mean,
think the accent hurts him?
I think yes. I think because of the Scottish accent, and it's not ripping on anyone from Scotland or anything like that. He's not great on the microphone. Okay. He is talented. He's a specimen. I'm not gonna. I mean, I like the fact that his nickname is the Scottish Psychopath. It's such a cool nickname. It's a vibe. I think the problem is, and wrestling is more than just going out there and showing up and wrestling in the ring. You have to be able to cut a promo. You have to be good on the mic. You have to have the look. You have to have the attitude. His attitude has always sucked. His attitude has always sucked.
That whiny thing he got into, that was
correct. That's the one. Yes, that's one of the things I was talking about. Another thing is, and this is just something I can't get out of my head. Every time I see him old Drew McIntyre with the ponytail or the 3MB guy, and I'm like, I just can't. I see the Scottish Psychopath, but then there's that guy behind him. I'm like, why is he with Jinder Mahal and freaking Heath Slater still?
Which is funny because
that's not his problem. That's a WWE problem. They created that, and they ruined him that reason.
He's kind of like Jinder Mahal today, right? He's that transition. He is the definition of a transitional champion. And I'll give you this, right? Do you think it's possible that they put the belt on him, which I think he gets? I think he loses tomorrow night. By the way, I'm very much on.
He's going to lose tomorrow.
Cody's taking back. They've been waiting to do Cody Randy forever, which is going to feel rushed. By the way, I think the way they're doing it is not the best way to do it. I don't like that. Fine. I think the reason they took the title off him was because they wanted to put Cody in the Rumble and put Cody in Chamber, and you can't if you have a belt,
right?
And they needed him for those main event big matches. But what's going to happen is, again, we're 44 days away from WrestleMania, 43 by the time he wins it back. You're going to have, 6 weeks to do a program that we've been wanting for a while that goes back to our perception of what it should be versus the reality of what it will be, which is not going to meet our perception of what it should be. So automatically it's terrible. Like we're in that cycle again because, and the crazy part about it is with all the TV time they have, everything still feels rushed.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because you literally are trying to fill 10 hours of cable / streaming TV every single week, plus everything else that you do. And it still feels rushed.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you break that.
Yeah.
with long-term storytelling, again, when you
Well-
have to have these events. So like we go back to like the 4-match pay-per-view, like I have no issue with that. I'm fine with that because you can't have a crescendo to every single story you have all the time. Like
Sure.
you do have to kind of layer it out a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
But I just feel like, yeah, I think Drew loses the belt. I think he did what he had to do, and that's fine. I'm sure he gets paid. He'll be fine. They don't pay you anymore for where you are in the card, so everybody doesn't give a shit. But it's going to set up Cody and Randy, or it's going to set up something where if Drew is in that match, that it's a multi-man match. And I say that because we've been talking about this for a couple weeks just in our group chat, which is kind of the impetus why we're here tonight. He is not a main event guy, right? And I've been saying for weeks now, there is a 0% chance that Drew McIntyre is in a one-on-one matchup as the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania for that championship because he can't do it. He's not on that level. They don't have that many guys on that level, and that is a problem. He's not one of them.
What else hurt him too, Brian?
Yeah.
What else hurt Drew McIntyre too is that he largely he lived that heel kayfabe. So you never see him do interviews. You never see him go out there and get his name out there more to just the casual fan. But again, when he was doing that heel work with CM Punk, he was online. He was tweeting all this crap about the dog and the bracelet and going up to whatever. I think it was he pulled up to the house or the restaurant that CM
That
Punk
feud was epic that year.
That
I don't
feud
care
was
what
epic.
anyone said.
Right. So by him keeping kayfabe and not,
I know we have friends that didn't like that, but it was great.
oh, I thought it was fantastic.
And I think that there's legs to this 100% because they're kind of been setting these seeds of maybe Nicholas gets in the ring. But let me go back to that Punk and Drew thing, right? So again, my perception versus the reality of it is, as a Punk guy, that was all Punk getting the most he could out of Drew. I don't give Drew that credit.
I don't know about that.
I mean, but that's Punk. This is what Punk does. And Punk's doing it now with Roman, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. That for all of the people out there who are part of our network, which I'm not going to name because they're not watching and they'll get mad at me later, that want to denigrate what Punk does, we went to Raw after Rumble, and we were there for that final ending between Punk and Roman, which again we're going to get to in a minute. That to me, that I don't credit Drew specifically for how that all went down. I think it's a combination of he genuinely did not like CM Punk and that brought the best out of him, but that's just what Punk does.
Yeah, but he also has to do good tweets and do good shirts, and he has to play that role. And part of what made that feud epic was that he was CM Punk is this revered guy. Nobody's supposed to talk like that to CM Punk. And Drew was like, screw this guy. Who do you think you are? You know what I mean? So Drew more than played his part, I feel, in that.
And he did that well. But
while
when
Punk was gone, because he was hurt.
Right. When did he do it recently, though?
Right.
He's not that same guy, and that's why his character is starting to fade. Not to jump around a little bit, but this goes back to our first topic on WrestleMania kind of being rushed and not having a thing. And again, I don't want to jump too forward, but so now you're looking at Cody versus Randy Orton. What's the one problem with this match besides booking?
It's two faces.
Two baby faces, 100% correct. You cannot go into, especially with their history and everything, somebody's going to have to turn. You cannot have two baby faces in a main event at WrestleMania like that. It's just, and I know Brian and I have been talking about this. Maybe Cody did, should have turned heel at this point or did this, or maybe he does, finally The Rock comes out and does something, where now he sells his soul. But that ship has passed.
Yeah.
It's just that, you know what I mean? They miss so many times to capitalize on things, and it's just,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. He's a B+ player, Brian. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's just guys who are not ever gonna be main event guys. Yeah. And I think if you were to be honest and say who are the main event guys in WWE right now, you need one hand. It's Cody, it's Punk, it's Seth, it's Roman, and it's Brock. And I don't think there's anybody else at that level. I genuinely do not. And the biggest problem is one of those guys might be retiring the next year and a half, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't put Gunther there just yet. I think he'll absolutely get there. I think they're the way they're building him up, whether you like it or not, like they know what they're doing. That's probably the one thing they know what they're doing with.
He's their new shiny toy.
Well, it's funny. So that was one of the next topics was, and I think we've all kind of alluded to this in our own little special way, is really like just the general disorganization of the way things feel right now. Like there is no match right now for Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. There is no match for Gunther at WrestleMania. You haven't seen Royce Keys other than Stephanie's podcast since the Rumble. And it's like, you're in Mania season. Like there's no obvious glide path for a match with Brock. So they're doing it's an open challenge. Well, no, that's you showing your hand because you have no hand that you don't know what the hell you're doing. So you're going to do that. Right?
So
right.
Gunther, where if he is your retire guy, is he going to have matches where he's not retiring someone? Is it going to be Gunther and Dragon Lee at WrestleMania?
No.
Okay, like this would be the second Mania in a row where Gunther gets the short end of the stick, right? Because Gunther ended up so again, the main event of WrestleMania is whoever wins the Royal Rumble. It actually opened WrestleMania. That's how Jay fumbled it like you couldn't believe that he couldn't handle it. That's not Gunther's fault. But then Gunther became the beneficiary of you tapped out. So then they had to basically create the biggest Darth Vader of all time with Gunther because they had to basically overcome that. There is like if you ask right now, who would you put Gunther against? I have no idea. Who would you put Brock against? I have no idea. And I shouldn't have a no idea 6 weeks out for my biggest show of the year. Again,
I think you're not going to get
like,
Gunther versus Brock until SummerSlam. I really don't at this point.
Right.
And that's it.
But I would keep. So this is the problem now. Anytime you get Gunther in a match or a program with somebody who's up in age, the assumption is he's going to retire them.
Yeah,
it makes sense. Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio is friends with Dragon Lee. That's one person I could see at WrestleMania. Right.
But then have they gone down that well too often? Like Randy was Legend Killer, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. Like, how many guys are you going to retire?
Right.
You going to bring somebody back to retire? You going to bring Sting back?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like, at what point do you play that card? Like, like again, wrestling can be predictable, and it's okay when it makes sense. Guess what, guys? If there's a SummerSlam match in Minneapolis between Brock and Gunther, I guess it's Brock's last match.
Yeah.
That's that's the assumption now that they forced on us as viewers and fans because of the fact that they built that around Gunther. He is the retirement guy. You have a match with him, you're towards your career, it's over.
Yeah.
But at what point do you keep going with this?
Yeah, and Gunther too. He hasn't really I love Gunther and I love his work, but he's been really the ring general his entire WWE career. So Randy Orton worked as a Legend Killer because he was able to become the apex predator. Gunther, he's not a comedy guy. He's not that funny. All he has is that he's really good at wrestling. So a character change would suit him well, but it's he's still Gunther. So it's he's kind of he kind of boxed himself in a little bit. What makes him great is probably what's going to keep him from getting to that next level. If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
I like that Gunther. I like the character that Gunther is. Don't get me wrong. He is that heel-esque guy. He comes out. He's dressed in the black trench coat from Burberry. He's got the swagger with the hair. He's got that cocky attitude. He knows he can beat you, and that's total heel-esque, right? The problem is booking, number one. And this goes to everything in our description right now. Where the hell's Royce Keys? You bring him into friggin' Royal Rumble, and that's it. And like you said, he's talking about his past on Stephanie's podcast. Fine, I have no problem with that because that's kind of like kayfabe break stuff. When are you going to put this dude in a match?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what's kind of funny is, and I'm almost positive without, and we've only done 12 of these, right? This is episode 12 of the relaunch. It's actually episode 1.2, whatever. We said, they're going to have so many belts now that you're going to forget they have these belts. Who is the women's U.S. champion?
Julia?
Is it still?
Didn't she recapture it?
Who?
Julia?
I maybe it's her. I don't know.
It's Julia. Yeah,
I think it is Julia.
The men's U.S. champion.
That is Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, whatever.
Look, I can say I used to be a full-time Raw guy, and SmackDown was always this beast show. SmackDown has had some more esque to it in the past couple months. They did that U.S. Open challenge. Carmelo got the idea from Cena all the years and all that stuff. He's carried his own, I will say. For a while, he was stale because they brought him up too fast and they didn't have any plan with him. So,
but I think
I know what you're saying, though.
But like they create these titles to create interest, and all it really does is just create another title that nobody cares about.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can I answer this question?
Sure.
Mike, it's not just Triple H. They have a whole panel of people. Triple H probably may have the final word in things, but you still have Bruce Pritchard there. You still have Michael P. Hayes, who are two of your top guys. What's Abyss's real name? He's made his way up as far as a booker. Robert Roode, Tyson Kidd, all these other guys all have a say in this. They sit around and, like I said earlier with the storyboard, what do you think about this? What should we do with this? They throw stuff on a dry erase board and they go from that. That's the way they build matches and stuff.
Maybe I think too we're also like victims of our own, like Brian was saying earlier. We're too smart now because like now we've heard from Paul Heyman, hey, we plan WrestleMania a year in advance. So now when people don't have matches 6 weeks out, it's like, well, wait a minute. So like we've kind of been conditioned to this long-term planning and like them having everything in order. When it doesn't seem that way, you know, we say it sucks. And what are they really doing? Without letting the package like unravel itself. So, I mean, but it does feel disorganized right now, for sure. Whether that's reality or not, they got to do something. But they got to do something fast.
So the idea of Triple H is booking it, and there's a committee or whatever it is. So, but too many cooks in the kitchen, and then do you have to keep? Cena's been on a lot of podcasts lately, which I found very interesting. I mean, he's been really like just kind of hearing his take on things now that he can just kind of talk and nobody cares. Pivot. Like, but if you're constantly changing your story like that, then it really wasn't your story. Like you're just reacting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at some point you can't. So Lou, you went to WrestleMania 35?
Yes.
Brian, did you?
No.
Okay. We went. The last time it was one night. I don't regret it being one night. I didn't get home till 2 a.m. and I fell asleep almost during the main event. Anyway. That was faces win, crowd dopamine night. Like they gave you everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine to a degree. Like you can't just write the story that you think the fans want all the time, because then the second that you don't, it's going to be a problem because you've pre-conditioned these people that, oh, the face is going to win at the end. It's just a Disney movie at the end. It's going to be fine. You can have heels win. That's okay. Like this is how you keep things moving along. If you're constantly, again, the disorganization comes from the fact that because you're trying to like draw logical like streams of consciousness and you can't.
Yeah.
Like, how did we get here from here? Like that doesn't really make any sense.
Right.
So, like, you can do a lot of stupid things if you can draw a line from point A to point B that makes sense. Like, you can say, well, that was kind of stupid, but okay. Okay, hey, Danhausen, you are cursed. I saw, okay, so you're going to lose the title. I mean, I saw it coming a mile away. That's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Predictable's fine if it makes sense.
Yeah.
But you can't do it anyway. Mike Gonsalves couldn't be in the show tonight, says Logan Paul versus Tom Brady at Mania. That's going to put butts in seats. However, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, Mike. Sorry.
Anyway.
To
love you, Mike.
To add on to you, love you, Mike. To add on to your point, at 35 when all the faces won, the problem with that as well is where do you go from there after something like that?
Mm-hmm.
What is your highway to the next pay-per-view? Where do you see these guys going 6 months from WrestleMania? Or, I'm sorry, 4 months, 5 months from WrestleMania at a bigger event like SummerSlam?
Right.
You got to have a direction. And right now, the problem is they don't have a direction for some of these new and main guys that are not carrying this company, but always, for instance, Brock Lesnar right up here. I think that was so pushed and forced to him to come out and just say, I don't have an opponent, blah, 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 blah. We knew Brock was going to be around, right? I think we thought Brock was already going to be set up in something. The fact that they have nothing, unless they have something up their sleeve, which I don't think they do, that's concerning.
Do you? I don't know.
I don't know. It's possible. It's possible that Jericho comes out at WrestleMania. I mean,
that sounds like your perception, Lou. If I'm being honest,
sounds like my perception. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying. Like, I think
hopefully it's reality.
We've fallen the victim of being too smart with knowing too much about the business that we just can't get out of our own way. You know what I mean?
We're always looking for this weird thing that they have planned for us that they do not have planned for us at all.
And that goes back to social media and the rumors and everything, because they pour it in our heads and they want us to feel and act and think one way. But at the end of the day, I mean, the geniuses in this podcast, do we really know what's going to happen? Yes, we're going to get Danhausen. He's going to put a curse and Dominic loses his title. And that's the reality.
Mm-hmm. And to Mike's comment, I read something earlier. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but there are rumblings that Tom Brady is gonna appear at WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, he's 100%. They've already said it.
No, he's gonna be there because it's in Vegas.
See, so
mile
you
away.
never know. Might come out with some brass nuts.
Yeah, I also heard.
Mile away.
I mean, the rumor before was Logan Paul, Bad Bunny, or something, but
they could still do that down the road.
Yeah.
Do
it in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
I had a thought. Now I forgot what the hell it was. Oh well, I'm sure it was brilliant. Most of my thoughts are. I don't remember what it was now.
Let me ask you this.
Oh, I remembered it. Can I just okay. Danhausen in the crate, right? That was perfectly fine until 6 people came out of the crate and I saw the back of the crate where they were coming out of. That's what you lost me.
Out of
the curtain.
Right. Like, no, I shouldn't be able to see the outside. And look, of course he wasn't sitting in a box for 3 weeks. He's a human being. But again, when I see the magician's trick, you lose me.
Yeah.
So you what you could have had him come out as freaking Dracula in a way, and just,
I'm okay with how he came. He should just come out himself,
right?
In the box, not in the back of the box.
Why are there women dancing around that look like Elvira's little sisters?
I just felt that they were like they were the modern version of the fembots from Austin Powers.
Wow, the fembots! What a pull that is.
Yeah,
with makeup on.
Yeah, and
and
not little things in the jubblies,
No.
I was fine with it. Again, but okay. Back to my point. If you don't walk into it with, oh, Jericho's in the box. Oh, Goldberg's in the box. Oh, Chris Benoit is in the box. Unless you start thinking about it, if you just allow yourself to watch the show without these preconceptions, you don't get mad.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's not how we're wired to do that anymore. And they've done it to us.
They've done it to us.
For sure. And honestly, to go back on Danhausen, as a wrestling fan, I love that he cursed him.
That was fun.
And I like Dom. I think he's great. But it was time for Penta to finally get a strap. That's all I'm going to say. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I'm okay that you get there that way.
Hats off to Penta, by the way.
Listen, that's okay. Listen, that is point A to point B.
That was good.
Now,
that's good writing.
Listen, if I'm booking the show, Dom goes on a streak of bad luck for a while, and he loses Liv at the end.
Yeah.
And it sets up this Dom versus Danhausen match to get the curse lifted.
He's backstage. He's in the clubhouse. Somebody knocks his chicken nuggets over. Now they're all over dirty floor.
Yeah, you can do so. But it's something dumb like that you can do. You actually can reality do things. Yeah. Your perceptions going in, this is stupid, and then they're going to do stuff that's kind of okay, but you're going to think it's stupid because you just thought because you want to think it's stupid.
No, you absolutely hit the nail on the head with Dom. He has to go on a bad streak now.
Yeah,
he's going to lose the AAA title
way to atone for the curse.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that could be something you continue to do. Again, it's that shtick. It's that R-Truth type shtick. With a different twist.
You could have a 4-piece chicken nugget Happy Meal at WrestleMania and Dom versus Danhausen for custody of the chicken nuggets. I mean that would sell. That would sell.
It would.
It would sell.
So it wasn't always Seth Rollins. I'm 99.5% sure it wasn't always Seth Rollins, but it was Seth Rollins in the end. I'm 90% sure that it was Grayson Waller at one point. The problem with masked men is in the era of camera phones, someone's going to get a close-up shot and you're going to figure it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Understand your audience.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about this is it does build into a very interesting story. Now you've turned Seth face, which I've always made the case like you don't have enough faces. You don't. He can be that, at least temporarily. You can have him face Logan Paul, and that's fine. The vision must have been Danhausen cursed because everybody get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I watch Raw and the opening segment is the Vision and it's Logan Paul and Austin Theory, like,
What are we doing?
So that version of the Vision is like, remember, to go back and show
that Vision is Stevie Wonder's Vision. Go ahead.
Well, yes, but that Vision is also like, remember when the original NWO members, like that Vision is like bringing in like
it was NWO 2000,
like La Parka as an NWO guy, or like, you know, like
it's the Blue World Order. It's the Blue World Order.
It's terrible.
Sure. I think they should rename them. I mean, because at this point they're not the Vision anymore. Seth is just coming back to hurt the most readily available of that faction.
Honestly, that's a gimmick match that I wouldn't mind seeing.
That's fine.
That is fantastic. At WrestleMania,
Danhausen versus Archer versus Mr. Iguana would sell.
But I think that there's Little Jimmy versus the thing.
Yeah, the Iguana and the Curse. Yeah.
The Iguana to go after Little Jimmy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying you never have enough faces. That's something the heel would say. Yeah. I get myself 100%. Absolutely. You got to have people to beat up, right? Everybody's got a price $1 million man. You can't run out of people to pay off. Because to get your mega heel over, you need to feed him faces.
Yeah.
Gunther.
Yeah. But I don't think Seth. I'll tell you what. When I saw Seth come back, like I didn't really. It was a little bit ho hum for me because it's like his.
You knew it was him. I mean,
you know it was him. This is like his 6th return at this point. He's hitting Logan Paul. Nobody really wanted to see that because it was Breaker who hit him originally. So it's like, probably could have did without Seth Rollins for now until at least Breaker or somebody came back. So like, you know, the vision is largely dead as far as I'm concerned. Like they're, you know, if they lose Paul, they don't really. Paul's the one lynch that keeps the Vision angle of it together.
And the Vision is blind right now.
This all dies at Mania.
Stevie Wonder.
I think so.
This all dies at Mania unless Breaker comes back early from whatever injury he has, and they can set something up to have Seth versus him through the summer. It's done. Like this is it. Like it's not their fault.
Sure,
but it's dead.
Which, by the way, that
nowhere.
That shoulder tackle by Bronson Reed was kind of like, how did that hurt him? Like that was
I don't understand that either.
Tackle. Like how?
Do you think that there's, and again, this is that there's truth to the thing that they don't do house shows now, so these guys are just not used to the bumps, and that's what's causing the more injuries in like this really weird twisted way where it's kind of the analogy is like they don't hit each other in practice in football, and that's why on Sundays everybody's tearing every ligament you never heard of.
It's very possible. Yeah. It's
and I
think don't stretch before you play a game or something.
That's
those of us who are a little bit older. Every time I go play basketball, I stretch for 15 minutes because I'm not pulling anything. You know what I mean? So like that's very highly possible. Like,
dude, I stretched the other night with the travel soccer team, and then I had to play goalie for like 20 minutes. I'm still sore from the other night. So
here's a social media preview. So tomorrow I do turn 42, and I do
happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday, sir.
I feel every bit of it, and I'm going to make a social media post of, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 42. My lower back is aching and both my knees hurt too. And that's pretty much, that'll be my post around 1 o'clock tomorrow.
That's a good Jackie Robinson shirt or song, just to let you know.
Yeah. It's a Taylor Swift song, but
42, Jackie Robinson.
I know. I take my
please don't ever mention her name again. Thank you.
Listen, as somebody who likes to needle the football fans that she's the reason people watch and gets them very upset.
She's the Danhausen of the Chiefs.
They did win.
They won once. They did win one.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not their fault, but everything's falling apart here. You need to just move on from this, and it's fine. Now, what do you do with Paul after this? I really have no idea.
You got to put him back with Brock, I think.
Yeah. So it honestly, from the jump, right? From the jump of the Vision, it gave me Evolution vibes, right?
Sure.
In that Paul was Flair and Seth was Triple H, and then you were trying to bring up the Randy Orton and the
Batista
with Braun and Bronson, right?
Sure.
And I could see where that was going to go, but unfortunately, because you have to fill so much TV time, the constant opening the Raw show with the four of them talking about things that didn't matter, like, okay, like I've already seen this, you're losing me, and I don't necessarily know, as great as Paul is, and I think the world of Seth, I thought it was too soon for Braun. I still do. There is an impetus to rush him, and I think it's a bad idea. And then Bronson, I don't know. I mean,
He's just the body. He's just the body, unfortunately.
Yeah, like I don't see him as a main event guy. Like I know that like Roman kept talking about, oh, this is how to raise my family up. Guess what? Nobody got raised up, right? They tried it with Jay. It didn't work. Jimmy never went anywhere. Like even Solo is in no man's land anymore. Like they're
yeah.
And but again,
what's his group called? The
MFTs, which apparently stands for My Family Tree, and nobody's related, by the way.
MFT, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, it's America. It's an adopted family.
It's just terrible.
They're just friends that, you know, their moms are different, but they're whatever. Anyway,
let's put a bunch of Samoans together that aren't related.
Can I? You know what? Listen. This
sounds like my family.
Right? People always say like, "Oh, WWE never had like a black champion, so they must be racist." Things like that. I gotta tell you, like when you just take a bunch of people from the same country and put them in a faction, like that's kind of like low key racist to me.
I agree.
You know, like,
I agree.
You know, like look, let's just be honest. They did the when it was Bobby Lashley and whoever, like you put all the black guys together.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, like, come on, like is that really your best idea? Like, okay,
Shelton Benjamin.
Whatever. You know, I mean, I don't know. Listen, I'm not gonna hate on the Latino World Order, right? But like, you had to be a certain kind of person to be in that.
Great.
Like, I can't be in that group.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not cool enough to be in that.
You could have been an honorary member. Of course, you could have.
No, I can't. I certainly cannot. I would be the Sami Zayn of that group. I could probably like, you know.
Yeah, I'm part ginger. I could be an honorary member.
I mean, like, I could like, dude, I could like show up like with a margarita and like pretend I know what's going on. And like do the most like English Spanish words I could possibly think of, like when guys love salad, like I know what I'm talking about, and like I basically became like Funaki, but in Spanish.
You'd fit right in, bro. What are you talking
like?
about?
I would just speak in English, and then like it would overdub me like something in Spanish, right? Like you could do that, I guess. I'm sorry, it's a bit of a tangent. No offense to anybody. I love everybody. And
I could be like Sammy Guerrero.
There you go. You see, that would work too. It would work.
I would be Brian Valdez.
I like that.
And I would talk about. Have you heard of my oil tanker? You know, like that sort of thing. Like I again, in the effort of comedy, like I can probably pull that off, but no, I am not cool enough to pull that off in any which way. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I don't know where I was going with that. Now that
back.
We really went off topic.
Yeah, so Seth Rollins was in the Vision, and he wasn't in the Vision because he got hurt. Yeah, so I don't. Sorry, this is what we do. This is look. This show is basically like a live group chat wrestling discussion. That's what we go for.
It's
good. It's good.
It's great. I'm glad it's back.
Oil of Olay.
Oil of Olay.
So I again now the question is, okay, like can you make you know chicken salad from chicken shit? Do you do that Seth Logan match, and in which case who wins, right? Because I don't. It's kind of weird in that Seth coming back again. I don't think Seth gets hurt if he loses to Logan, but I do think that you kind of take maybe Logan's momentum off. And if you would, Logan Paul has a much better chance of being a legit main eventer than Drew McIntyre because of
his star power,
the non-wrestling skill of it.
Yeah. He's fantastic. I don't understand the hate for like he's a great worker. He's a natural.
Yeah, he is.
He's a great.
He's athletic as hell.
Like he's young. Like I don't get the hate on Logan Paul. I think
I do think backstage like there's people like fuck.
Yeah, but I mean
I'm sure he's a prick, but I mean
it's
how many other guys?
Yeah, but I am too. That's fine. I'm okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's all in the delivery.
Yeah.
Like you could listen, speaking from experience, you can do it a certain way where it's kind of endearing to some.
Do you think the Vision
that don't like it don't matter?
You're right.
know.
Do you think the Vision could take on possibly like a tag team to build them? Like you have Breaker, you have Bronson Reed. You got to keep them separate, right?
Yeah, but they're both their tag team is called the Infirmary. They're not around. And you know, who's going to come back?
I'm not saying make them a tag team. I'm saying bring on a tag team that's already strong to make.
No, because at this point, like at this point, it's they have an established group already, and
who is
everybody's
that
hurt.
tag team though?
Yeah,
Street Profits?
Are they?
I don't know. I'm asking.
You know what? Interesting point. Has the Montez Ford like singles rocket like died? That's never gonna happen now.
It's never gonna happen.
I mean, he should be
That's
a singles
shame,
competitor.
like I think I really thought that was the next one. Like I've at times thought, oh my god, his name is escaping me. Santos Escobar. Like I thought that was gonna happen at some point, and then it just never did.
Yeah, what happened with that?
And I think that
he's talented too. I mean,
very much so. I've always been a fan. I
love Santos
music,
Escobar. I think he's
good
great.
thing.
He's
like
in AAA.
Dude,
Yeah.
listen, that like I think what they tried to do with Andrade was what they really wanted to do with Santos, which was kind of like that cartel kind of like, you know, cool Mexican gangster thing. Like there's legs to that. Like that could be really, really good.
Not to bring up AEW, but do you know who Andrade's with in AEW right now?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so do you know Don Callis and his family?
I'm aware of Don
There's
Callis.
so many family
Don
members
Callis
in the
is
Don Callis family.
is the Timu version of Paul Heyman.
Correct, and he's
got
terrible.
Okada on his
He's
team.
terrible on the microphone. Andrade is a member of the Don Callis family. He's like their main guy now too, other than the one guy who has the one title from Australia or New Zealand. I forget his name. Because it's not really. Yeah, he's just not important.
So like, is Don Callis taking the worst aspects of Bobby Heenan and Paul Heyman and making them a per person?
Basically,
yeah.
But like, if you're Andrade, you're like, really? This is my career now. I'm a Don Callis guy.
Can I ask you a question? Again, I don't watch, right? Do you think that so there's always this desire sometimes for people that maybe like don't speak English overly well to give them a mouthpiece, right? Not that all right, this is a terrible example. I apologize in advance. But Yokozuna had Mr. Fuji. Not that Mr. Fuji was like the most fluent of English, but you knew what he was saying type thing. And I do think, to be fair, some of I think it's I'm not saying mostly of Asian descent, like they do struggle because again, English is hard to understand. Look, like I think Io's done really, really well. Like she's gotten a lot better than she was. But I do think sometimes like it's hard sometimes to and maybe a little bit of Drew to this too. Like, you know, it's just kind of the way we come up in America. It's just how we are. Like if they don't, it's kind of hard to take them as serious like heels when they can't necessarily use the words the way we would use them, the way they're intended to be used, which is not a shot against them at all. That's really not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they kind of like maybe like they kind of account for that by giving them a mouthpiece. So, you know, I never thought that Andrade was like he had like a language barrier, but maybe like a little bit like, but maybe that's why that there's that inertia to give him a annoying mouthpiece to be that guy. And I think sometimes like that, I think in some cases you actually hold the wrestler back by doing that. Sometimes it makes the most sense in the world. Like, you know, Brock Lesnar's voice doesn't match his body.
Yeah.
Right. So Heyman talking for Brock and Brock being a silent assassin works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Yokozuna needed Fuji, but I understand why they did it. But the same kind of idea, like where you give, like, did Giant Gonzalez speak English? I don't even remember.
He did speak English, yeah.
Okay. But you didn't know that.
Come on,
Harvey
was on
Whippleman was
Baywatch
with him, I think.
But he never opened his mouth, so you didn't know that. You assumed he couldn't.
He would just go like this.
Yeah.
That was
like they're the mystery of the guy who doesn't talk, like there's something to that.
Yeah, but you know what though? The mystery that the guy that's a
Paul Bear with Kane for the longest time
has to be a killer. These guys are not killers because the Undertaker was a killer, Kane was a killer, Brock's a killer, Goldberg was a killer. You know, they're killers. If you give me somebody who just like Obafemi, if he would have come in with no speech, just come in and decimate fools and leave, now you know that has legs to it. Then you could do something with that. But you know, I think you're right about that because like even historically, if you go back in time, you have your Ivan Putskis, you
Yeah,
have your the Sheiky baby, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
anybody
Yeah,
who it was always like the foreign heel was always vanquished by
correct.
the American, whether it be Hulk
And
Hogan or even Hacksaw. Hacksaw was a vanquisher of the foreign bad guy. So I think like in the history of wrestling, that has been a trope. And I think you're not wrong about that. You're not wrong.
I think the lack of English, I think, puts them over more.
I kind of wish Obafemi was that guy that needed almost like I don't know, like I could have seen him with like a
No,
Teddy
look, dude,
Long or
look,
somebody like that. You know what I mean?
Oba's great. Oba is
No,
really
he is. I'm just
Oba
saying.
is really pissed you did not answer his email saying that he had the inheritance.
Yeah.
He is pissed.
Yeah.
He was the guy. He
was
the
the guy.
Nigerian
He kept trying
prince.
to, like, you asshole. I kept trying to tell you I had all this money for you, you piece of shit.
Now he's the one you left out of the will, and you did not want to leave him out of the will.
No, the Nigerian prince. He's like, it was here. I needed $50. You give you back $5 million. What's wrong with you, you stupid asshole? No, listen. That guy's going to be an absolute star.
He's awesome.
Like, to him, like, his accent, I think, helps him.
Yeah.
Like, and it's weird because, like, I don't know if it's just the way he carries it or what it is, but like, I think the accent makes him feel like more of
He has like a warrior vibe to him.
that warlord kind of thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
and it works.
Yeah.
Because
It
like
works
he also,
because he's a killer.
But he also strikes me that like he can be a gentle giant until you piss him off. Like I think he has that Hulk to him.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to see him when he's angry.
Right.
When he says, "Miz, I'm going to kill you," like you take it seriously.
Yeah. But he's
Another
a killer.
name I
They've
want.
presented him as a killer, though. That's
Yeah.
the thing about it. That's why he
Another
works.
name I want to throw out there that I think I don't know what his direction or
Then we name the show
WWE
Tangents. Go ahead.
WWE's direction is with him. What do you do with Trick Williams?
Everything's good right now.
You got to push that guy, man.
See,
He's doing appearances. He's doing appearances on TV shows, on talk shows.
That's what I'm saying.
got
He's
the
he's
swag.
high right now.
Trick
got
Williams
the
is the new
look.
Braun. Trick Williams is a new Braun Breaker, and I'm telling you right now, you cannot over push.
No.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
It's got to be organic. And honestly, like, look, I think Javon Evans is extremely talented. Like, I mean, like, I know that they got this bouncy theme. Like, I understand that why. I think that that's Kofi Kingston 2.0, and I do think that there is a limitation to that character.
He's too jovial for me.
Yeah, like Trick can be that, you know, flashy. I don't want to.
And he's young still. He's got a long way to go.
It's not going to come out the way I'm trying to intend it, but you can have like that flashy rapper type thing because like with the chain and everything else, like he plays it super well. And that's great. Like that can work. Like there's a little bit of Booker T in him. And I understand he made
I think I like him. If like stay away from like, you know, that type of stuff. But if he stays the pretentious douche,
yeah,
but like he's cool. He's cool when he does it. So
yeah,
keep him like, you know, the lemon peppers, keep him with that.
Yeah.
Don't try to change him to he's good with where he's at. And I think you're right. Let's not over push him. Let's get him into like some jobber feuds, then give him the IC title for a year or two. Then you could push him to see where he's at.
I think it speaks volumes with some of these guys coming from NXT now compared to what it was a couple years ago. Like they come up and their characters are intact. Like the whoop that trick thing, which I still don't understand what they're trying to say. Neither here nor there. Like that was organic. Like they didn't have to like reintroduce him. So if you think back to so when Carmelo came up, like he was the guy in NXT, and the next day he was just a nobody.
Well, right? Because you know what it is,
them, though, right? Like
you know what it is. Carmelo is 5'9", going against 6'4", 6'5". Trick Williams is 6'5". Well,
do you remember Randy, Carmelo Hayes' first night on SmackDown and who he fought?
Yeah. It wasn't that good though.
He fought Randy, right?
It was
like
Cody Rhodes
or Cody. Yeah,
it was Cody Rhodes, and it was a terrible booking. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think it's good again. So at times they've used NXT as a
golden boy,
fine, but then they come up and they don't. There's no continuation. Like I think that there's a lot of valid. I know we're on the seventh layer of this tangent now, but I think that there's the continuation of what the character does. I think is actually important, It's not just be who you were in NXT. Like, it would be kind of like if they brought up Tony D'Angelo and he just dropped the whole Italian mafia gimmick and just did something.
No,
stupid.
keep that going.
No, but like Julia was big in NXT. Her and Steph had this big thing, and then she comes up and she's like just lost in the crowd. Like there's no silver bullet to all of it. But if you can continue working on what you've built up, it's okay.
What did they put somebody with Julia, the girl with the briefcase?
Kiana James, yeah.
Which felt kind of awkward.
That's all. Yeah, again, forced. And Kiana James is going to be like her own entity. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't need Julia to become a star.
Which again, it backdoor hurts Julia if she's the stepping stone to James.
And she was a mouthpiece for Julia, who doesn't speak English very well. So,
which is by the way, I think she's amazingly hot because she's a mixture of like Italian and Japanese, which are two of my favorite genres.
Delicacies. Say delicacies.
That's like, you know, a little sushi and pasta.
I know he likes Japanese food. Trust me.
I do. I'm a good chicken parm guy too. I
had sushi earlier.
There you go. So. Yeah. So I know, again, that was like this literally like the seventh layer of hell, the seventh ring of Saturn. What the hell fuck we were talking about? Hey, so Braun Breaker. Do we think that momentum can be revived?
Yes. I think so.
Can it be revived as a heel character, or does he have to come back? Does he have to come back Seth-like as a face, as a surprise?
I don't know if you can bring him back as a face right now.
I don't know when he's coming back either.
I think
by
default he'll come back as a face because everybody will be happy to see him. But it'll be interesting what he does in the next promo. He could do one of those, like, I forget who it was that they came out and they were heavily cheered, and then they came out on the next SmackDown and I won in spite of you fans. I hate you. You were never there for me. Somebody did that relatively recently, but I think
I know what you're talking about too. I'm just trying to remember who it was.
I can't think of who it was. But Braun could definitely recapture because he's the man, bro. Like he's got the look, he's got everything that you asked for in a top level superstar in the WWE.
I really hope they don't screw him up.
Yeah. Keep him back.
Paul Heyman said it best. He is the future WrestleMania main eventer, and he is. I mean,
just have him come back in spirit, just Spear City, bro. Like, have him destroy, make him the killer.
I'm not saying next year, but Obafemi against Braun Breaker is just screams main event.
That'd be sick. Sure.
Okay. Sorry, the Rangers made a trade. I have to break it real quick. But do you think though that it's possible that they see again? This is that overpush thing, right? Like it's that shiny new toy, and you feel like, oh, there's some momentum. Let me put him in the main event of something. It's like Jay.
Not yet.
It's a microcosm of Jay. Like as soon as Jay got over to it to a certain degree, like they felt like, oh, okay, well, let's just go with this.
Well, I mean, you have time now to build some cachet with these young guys because you even brought them in before this year's WrestleMania. There's time to build them up to next year, to do something with them next year. Because at a certain point, you know, Punk, the 5 main eventers that you listed, somebody's going to have to fill those roles.
Somebody's going to have to subside them too.
Somebody's going to have to give up, pass the torch to them. You know what I mean? So you have plenty of time from here till next year's WrestleMania to get that done, especially with guys like Obafemi and Braun Breaker, for sure. Especially Braun, because he's got cachet already. We know who he is. We know what he can do, you know? So, yeah, sky's the limit for that kid, but we'll see when he comes back.
The injuries have hurt a couple of these people. Yeah, I mean, I do think.
Yes.
Which is unfortunate. And again, it's not their fault, but it's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think of it, it's Braun, it's Bronson, Logan, Oba, Trick, Javon, Carmelo, Dom. Like that's your future core right there.
Coming up. Braun wins next year's Rumble, beats Roman.
It's possible.
How many times are you going to put Roman in the main event?
Well, Tim, okay, real quick. Can you just clarify if you mean that he beats Roman like at Mania? Because I think.
Or does he eliminate him in the Rumble?
Shocked if it's not Rock Roman next year in Saudi. I would be shocked.
You'd be shocked if what?
If it's not Rock Roman.
Yeah.
I mean, money-wise, it makes sense.
they'll do it. Yeah.
I saw a report that the Saudis are ready to throw more money at The Rock than they've ever thrown at anybody for any single performance.
They want Rock.
They want The Rock
in Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah. They got to finish that storyline too. Like at some point, you got to seal off the final boss. Yeah, Brian was first at that. He's Roman's final boss. He broke news on that one. We all thought it was for Cody,
and it's still there. They look. Sometimes they lead down a story that they don't close. Like, I don't know, like when they have one of the biggest faces of all time turn heel out of absolutely nowhere, and then they go to the WrestleMania, and then the people that were involved don't show the hell up, and then you don't even know where it went, and all of a sudden your 17th championship is surrounded by is a result of this thing that people want to forget. Like, okay, sure. But at some point.
Great booking.
Yeah.
Shock jock, welcome to wrestling. Shock moment to sell tickets. Great. Why not? Make money. At some point, I do think they need to have that Rock Road match. I think both of them want it. I think it would have happened if not for the whole Cody thing at 40. Do I have any regrets? No. That could not have worked out any better than it did, and that's great. That
40 was one of the best WrestleManias of all time.
That time period, like
Hands
we
down.
were living it, and we kept saying, you cannot have this match. They need something for night one. And Ant kept saying, no, they don't. I'm like, yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
It is a separate show. I know you don't think about it that way. You can buy tickets to it, which means it has a main event. Which gets to my last, well, actually.
And I think they did it perfectly with the tag match leading up to it.
Yeah, it worked out.
This should take all of 10 seconds. How many main events are there at WrestleMania?
2.
1.
Tell me why.
Main event WrestleMania, number 1, it's always Sunday night, the last match of the night. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's main event of night 2.
That's the main.
That is your main event. You can't have a main event Saturday night that's way better than Sunday night. I'm sorry.
No, now hold. Didn't say it was better.
Sorry, last match.
And it was a main event.
The main event is always Sunday night's last match. It's hands down.
Hey, guess what? Last year's Saturday night match was better than the Sunday night match.
I understand that. It's also called terrible booking.
There's two. I think there's 2 because one, I think WWE tells you there's 2, and we have, you mean
perception versus reality?
Brian always quotes this in the group chat. We have precedent of a WrestleMania having co-main events. So
yeah,
there's 2 main events. There's night 1, and there's night 2. There's a reason that, by them splitting it up, you open that up to having, it doesn't have to be on equal ground as night 2 main event. Because we all know night 2 is the marquee matchup.
Sure.
That is the marquee matchup.
Sure.
But you could still have the co-main event, which is essentially night 1 is the
when
co-main
you're charging $1,000 a ticket with a tax to breathe to go to one night. There is a main event of that show. Let me be very clear about that. You are not leaving in the intermission of the show to come back the next day. You can buy a ticket to night 1. That's the only night that you go. And am I to believe that Punk, that the whole thing at SummerSlam, you tell me that Punk versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship with Seth coming out, like that wasn't a main event match of a major pay-per-view? Like, go to hell. That's not true. That is you pushing your perception onto their reality when they're very clear. There's 2 main events.
Yeah. I think there's 2. I think there's 2.
Well, in any event, if you have Punk derangement syndrome, like my good friend Anthony, unfortunately for you, Roman Reigns and CM Punk is the main event of night 2, which means that by whatever definition you want to give, CM Punk is WrestleMania main event. Now, we're 6 weeks away. There's a long way for this to go, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it again because that's what we do. But right now, how do you see this playing out? What I will tell you is I'm a big Punk guy. I can make a very cogent case why Punk should win this match. I don't think he's going to. Neither here nor there. I don't like the direction that I think they're going, where the last time we saw CM Punk say that he's going to bury Roman Reigns next to his father. I think that didn't land the way it wanted to, and it starts to give the IWC thoughts of Christian Cage and AEW. Now, I think the next iteration of this is Roman's going to say something about Larry. Like, I think this is exactly where this is going, and I don't like it, right? And I, as an unabashed Punk guy, I don't like it. I don't think you need to do it. I thought that we went to the Raw. I went to the Raw after Royal Rumble. I thought that the Punk and Roman thing was top notch, extremely well done. And my concern was, did they blow their load on that one? And maybe they did, because I don't think the one from the other nights lived up to it. And they got a lot of time. And I don't know if that was because they weren't going to put Roman on TV that much. You know, not exactly Rock Cena via satellite, but like there was a little bit of like, you're not going to see Roman that much because he's Roman. I don't know that the other night landed the way I would have liked to see it.
The moment you break that kayfabe and you start talking about burying somebody next to their father, and then you know it's coming about Larry, Punk's dead dog, or you're getting away from the whole premise of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build a feud up that's really doesn't need too much building because it's been there from the get. I mean, Punk took Roman's wise man. That's what all started this, right? He needed a favor. Punk filled in at, Survivor Series. Like, this is all stimulating from back then. Why do we got to go morbid about it and start talking about dead animals and bodies? Like, this is very Paul Bear-esque, if I want to say. Like, it's not hitting the way it should. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I said earlier that it's good to have a purpose behind these matches, and but we can all agree that there's no way Punk said that without Roman saying, okay, you could say it. There's no way that was that was a shoot. There's no way. I don't know. I think it builds intrigue a little bit, because now it's like they really went there. Like, that's kind of like a hook a little bit, because now you want to see, even though we kind of all assume that Roman's gonna come out with like a Larry t-shirt or something like that, or say something crazy. I think it builds a little bit. Now it's like super personal, and I think that you have to hook the main event at some. You have to give it some kind of hook.
Yeah, but did it need to get more personal? Is there anything more personal than I hate you? I've always hated you. Like, is there anything more personal than that? Like, why do you need to go here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess the fact that we're even talking about it is like, it gives you reason to pause. But again, you have to hook it somehow, and they decided to go. So let's see where it goes. It may end up.
Yeah, but Lou,
at the end of it, like, okay, it all worked out. But
Lou, they laid it out the Monday after Rumble.
Sure.
All those hooks, all those intricacies, all those things that, like, there were parts of that promo that were actually specifically geared towards the three of us, as I feel. Like, who remembers you went on your little buddy's podcast and talking like, like maybe 2% of people watching actually got that reference.
Right.
Like, they're doing like this is.
I'll be right back.
I just don't think it needs this. There's so much tie up and everything with the Shield and Paul and the Punk leaving and coming back and Roman being the guy in his and the yin yang, the back and forth of like, I'm not you're following in my steps. Like, they had everything laid out beautifully. And it was all real. Like, it wasn't this perception versus reality, like where you're grasping at straws to make the story. Story's there. So, like, I just don't think you need to go down this road of, I'm going to bury you next to your dad. Like, does that mean The Rock's going to show up? Because this goes by. I mean, is that
about your family?
Like, if you're going to do that, fine. I doubt it. I don't think there's a story there with Rock and Punk, although that's a long time ago. I think that's so far back that it's not anybody's mind except for mine, because that's me. But there was so much already like that linked the two of them. I don't think you needed to go this way.
Yeah, but again, when you have those old references that only a small percentage even would recall, I think that's doing something like that, like about the burying you next to your father, that like it's an intriguing notion, whether we like it or not, because now maybe people are disgusted with what he said. Now they want to come back and see what Roman does or what he says to counter that. So it's still a way to hook more people than you would have, because a wrestling feud, we get it, but if it's WrestleMania and you're trying to hook the fringe fan, you got to go somewhere. You got to go somewhere, and maybe they did it too soon. Maybe this could have been like the go home show to WrestleMania. They could have did that. So maybe the placement of it was completely wrong. But
do you think that, okay, so let me, do you think that this direction is less about the match itself and more about keeping people watching until the match itself?
Oh yeah, you got to keep them watching, because there's so much time from now to WrestleMania, and so many, they're going to have promos back and forth every single week. You got to do something. You got to hook people somehow. And it was morbid, sure. Was it extreme? Maybe. But it's, if you saw it and you paid attention to it, you're more than likely you're going to want to see what Roman does in return. And that is the point of a weekly TV show, to bring the fan back next week. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Okay, so I don't mean this terminology the way it's going to sound, but again, this direction to me felt like the overpush.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
You didn't need it.
Sure.
Like it's you have a winning hand and you have us on the hook, and now you're over betting.
Sure.
That's where, listen, I'm looking forward to this match. I do think Reigns wins. I could make a very, very solid case why he should not. Whatever. I just feel like it was.
I'm worried about how many more promos leading up to WrestleMania are they going to be able to cut when they're face to face? Like, how much more things can you say about each other? Too, like when you say you hate somebody, right? That is like one of the biggest slaps in the face. I mean, it's verbal spitting on somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
but to that point, right? Do you remember when it was Cody Roman 39? And Cody just came out talking to Mr. Heyman and everything. And I'm just trying to win a wrestling championship, and you guys are making it personal now. So now it's personal to me.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really have that.
Yeah.
Like you were 5 steps ahead of that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Again, is it possible that the reason that we're going this direction was, frankly, like I said, they kind of blew their load on their first promo. They laid out so much. Great, I'm in. Now what? Well, now you need a point A to a point B, and now you got to
you need filler. You need filler until the match.
I.
So do you think it was just too egregious? Is that what the problem is? Like, it was just too egregious for you of a commentary?
No, I just don't know what the point is. It's not egregious at all, because obviously Roman said it was fine, or else they wouldn't have done it.
Right.
But it's again, it's okay, I talked about your dad, you're going to talk about my dog, which again, Drew had you marked with this stupid little thing on your wrist. Okay, you can. I just think that I think it's taking away from it. I do.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to go back to what was done in the past with Cody and Roman, where you'll see one of them on Raw, cut a promo, talk about it. Then you won't see him. Then Roman will come out on SmackDown. You won't see Punk. They're going to go back and forth, but it's like you're 44 days out, 6 weeks away. That's a lot of time to fill with. You already threw a lot of flames into that fire. I just don't see it happening.
Right. But you could also too, now we're just envisioning maybe a back and forth promo battle. What if somehow they have a angle where CM Punk attacks him because he goes to one of them attacks the other one backstage or something, or they could do the old pull up to your house with the cops there or something like that, and do a visual something like that. It doesn't always have to be an in-ring promo face to face, because you can only do that so many times.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think the placement of it was, after talking with you guys, was a little bit. You could have saved that for the go home show, but
yeah,
you have to hook people who are like the fringe fan. And now I'm compelled to see if people watch to see what Roman does in return after a commentary like that. Because it is despicable. You don't want to do that. You don't want to talk about somebody's dead dad like that and burying you next to him. But at the same time, it's like we've gone through in wrestling. We've gone through Dominic Mysterio, what was it? Custody battle matches. We've gone through people's mom on a pole match.
Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
We've gone through Kane with the Mae Young birthed the hand in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like this is as outlandish of a thing that we've ever seen in wrestling either. But I will concede that maybe it was too soon for something like that.
It's not outlandish at all. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that's something where you need to, that you use to build heat where there isn't heat, where there isn't that already strong story. You try to create one. Like, that's the kind of thing that makes me hate you. You are talking about my dead father. I already hate you. You're not going to make me hate you more. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't. It didn't land with me. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And could I be wrong? Absolutely. Wouldn't be the first or the last time. But it didn't land with me.
What you're completely right. But this goes to, as far as, okay, that is your main event. That is what's going to put asses in seats. That's what's going to sell tickets. That's what's going to, make the streams go up in volume whenever, and millions of people watching. This is what they're lacking on other matches that are not yet set.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're almost overbooking and over promoting your main event, which is your bread and butter. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we all think it's going to be Cody, Randy. That's it has a past. Don't overthink that either. Don't overdo it with that. If you want your two main events to be that, don't have Randy Orton come out and say, well, your father meant nothing to me when I was coming up in my career.
Right.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Because now, not only are you leapfrogging back and forth now with the same idea and same storyline, basically, it's like, no. Now, talk about how Cody was a failure in Legacy and how you were forced to play Stardust and be your brother's keeper, basically, in a tag team that sucked. Go deep. Make Cody hate you.
Is it possible? See, again, this is perception reality, right? Is it possible that it simultaneously feels like Cody and Randy is getting rushed, but Punk and Reigns is going to be like stretched out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's basically 2 weeks longer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
It's perception, man. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Again, I overthink everything. I'm the guy that thinks
I
of
do
these
too.
wonderful ideas that never come to fruition, and maybe it was something in it. And that's okay. Like, I don't get mad about it, though. But I'm like, okay.
I think that's just today's wrestling fan and this again goes back to perception versus reality, but we want to think the way that the fan wants to think, not the way the writer is thinking. That's the problem. So
that's a fair point.
It's natural. It's a natural instinct as a fan.
But the funny thing is, and again, just to kind of they do it to you, right? We have a whole show now called Unreal where they basically like take the whole. Here's how we do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So now you watch it.
I do love it.
I loved it. No, it's great. I enjoy that, but you can't say it doesn't change the way you watch.
Sure.
Oh, of course.
Because now, when you see the magician's trick, like you're watching for, that's
that
where
moment.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't help too, like in the recent past too, all the you pull up the go home little comment, executive producer, and then the music hits. They've done that a couple times now.
Yeah, so now you're
the surprise return.
Now
you have to. If that doesn't happen, it sucks. You know what I mean? So
it's like Ocean's 11. You can't run the gag. You gotta run a different gag.
Yeah.
What if the first promo was set the stage ends up being basically the only last words? Roman has a limited date schedule. I can see him wanting to smash Punk.
That's a good angle.
So he tries to get to Punk week after week. Makes physicality, but the aggression builds week to week.
Yeah.
All of it just feels. Look, I thought again. I was there.
It's almost what they have to do, actually.
Yeah, because at this point too, like now Roman has been Roman because of his family. Now him by himself, we haven't really seen much of that. So now, maybe this will go into making him more aggressive. Into, like I said, somebody beat somebody up in the backstage area. It could be Roman, Punk is sitting there talking to AJ or Rey Mysterio or somebody, and Roman comes, oh, you think you could talk about my dad? Bang. And, that would build intrigue. A bloody CM Punk.
So I will say this.
I like it.
Yeah.
The ending of the Punk Roman match, regardless of which way it goes, needs to be clean. Whereas the ending of the Randy Cody match that we think is going to happen, which is going to be night 1, doesn't need to be clean.
I don't think it's going to be clean.
And I think that it shouldn't be clean. And I think that that's going to further that story. And this is not the end of Cody Randy. This goes through the summer, possibly 2 at SummerSlam, because it's going to happen kind of weird. Something's going to happen in that match where one of them turns.
Okay,
Yep.
so here, perfect. Okay, so
Yep.
basically what you're going to have then, it could
Tim,
end
it's
clean.
never that's the best part of our perception, because we're better than they are. We're
Yes.
so smart. We thought of this whole thing that they didn't even thinking about, but
Yes.
we're the idiots. Anyway.
So focusing on Randy Cody real quick, because
Yeah.
I am going to head off in a minute.
Yeah, we're wrapping up.
Cody, Randy, right? You still have 2 faces. By a fan's perspective, you have a Golden Boy, and then you have the Legend Killer, who we all love. He's back and whatever. You remember a few years back, I don't know what WrestleMania it was, but you had your 2 New Japan guys going at it. And what happened afterwards?
Oh, that was AJ and Shinsuke. No?
Nakamura kicks him in the groin. That's how you could literally, you could have a clean finish where Randy's like, fuck, he beat me. I didn't get my, so-and-so title. I forget what number he's 14th or 15th, whatever he's going
It'll be
for.
15.
15. And then he's like, I got to take this dirty. And now Randy is the heel. And he goes after Cody that way. I think that's what they could be building on. But it's perception.
Do you think that Cody winning it 6 weeks before Mania means that he's likely to win at Mania?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you really want to go from extremes of this guy had the title for 4 years to now we're doing hot potato?
Well, I mean, you could also do like if you turn Cody heel, that would be a perfect scenario to do it. He just won the title back, and then Randy takes it from him again at WrestleMania, 2 WrestleManias in a row. That could be the catalyst for his low blow and him turning on Cody Rhodes. Because even if Randy Orton finishes a match and he RKOs Cody, they've been playing that he RKOs everybody, and it may not take a heelish turn, but Cody giving him that low blow or something crazy like that, because he lost the match, that would be a headline item. It really, really would.
Yeah,
I think it's 50-50 that he wins at WrestleMania. I think so.
I just don't want to see a Drew or Fatu get involved. Like, keep that.
No, I think that there was a time and a place for that, but I think that Randy winning Chamber changed all of that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we were thinking about Randy being in there, that it was going to be a triple threat. Because again, our thought going in, maybe that it was going to be something weird at the end to create a multi-person match. Because again, based on the fact that Drew could not carry this, right? Which we're right, just backwards in that no, Drew isn't carrying it. So not only is it not a multi-man match, she's just the fuck out of the match. So,
yeah.
I always, you still have that thing with Cody and Jacob. So maybe, is there an alliance with Randy, and does Jacob play that part of it? Maybe, like, again, now this is the perception versus reality thing. We're going to come across like really crazy ideas that you can make a shred of sense and why it makes sense, but then they just might give you Cody wins.
Yeah, but you could also have the shenanigans not be outside interference. You could have Cody, somebody giving a low blow. That in itself is shenanigans and not a clean finish of somebody cheating to win that match. So it doesn't necessarily have to be Jacob or Drew coming back for his ultimate revenge either.
The only thing that bothers me about tomorrow night's main event is the simple fact of what you just said. What if Jacob gets involved and then the match now and then Drew retains the title? Now you are getting that fatal four-way.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that.
I don't like it either.
Well, you know who should be the guest referee because of the four. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like again, there's pros and cons to you can go 17 different directions with this because you're gonna pick the wrong one.
Yeah.
But again, in modern wrestling, there is no outcome that pleases everyone.
Correct.
No matter what you do, the vocal minority will head on Twitter and tell you how much of a moron you are.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't what they thought.
Right.
Whoopity freaking do.
Yeah. We'll see. It's 50-50 for me. Cody winning at WrestleMania.
Well, guys, that 2 hours just flew right by, didn't it?
It did. It
2
did.
hours. No Mike, no Ant. That's their problem. They'll figure it out. Look, this is not going to be a weekly thing. You know,
I like the triangle though. I'm feeling the trio.
Yeah,
I like it.
I mean, look. I mean, clearly.
No offense.
Clearly, look. Lou was the third man. I mean, we had this coming in, right? You know? I mean, again, so he's got the beard, so he would be Hogan, right? Like, you know, are you taller than me?
I'm 6'1".
All right, you're Nash then, because I have to be Hall.
I'll be big sexy. I don't care.
There you go.
That's fine.
Hey,
he's definitely Hogan.
I'll take that.
The bit, yeah.
I'll take it.
Because you know what? Like, he's kind of, I don't know if I ever liked him. He's kind of shady. Like, he could be Hogan.
He's got that leader-esque, though.
Hold on. He's the tannest one here, so he can be Hogan.
That works for me, brother. That works for me.
I am not tan at all.
So Lou, are you from Clearwater Beach, Florida?
I'm having a vacation there.
Listen, thank you all for watching tonight. Again, we're gonna try to do this somewhat periodically. I'm not gonna say you're gonna tell you what that's going to look like because I have no idea. Because
we're definitely gonna have a show before WrestleMania. That's
right. I mean, I imagine this being
at least one,
like sometime ahead of main events and things like that. Again, we'll Thursday seems like a good night. By the way, this is the one day of the week where there's no actual wrestling on, other than even AEW isn't really actual wrestling, but some of you watch that because something's wrong with you. Mike really enjoys I tell you what, Mike Engel is one of the top 10 people on the planet that gets my humor better than anybody, and like it really entertains him. Like it's great. I appreciate it.
I'm in there too, bro. I
know you are. No,
I text you on the side, bro. You're hilarious.
Well, people don't like. I am playing a character on social media, and everybody falls for it all the time. I am trying to say whatever I need to say to get the reaction out of you that I want, and they fall for it every single time. And
my favorite bit that you do, I've told you this before, is when somebody asks you a question, you just say no. That riles up
just
so
leave
many
it at
people.
that.
When I see
just
that,
leave it at that.
Because they ask it in like this extremely long form paragraph that is
just
begging
one word
for
answer.
like 4 to 5 lines of rationale to my answer.
No. I love it.
No. There's art to being dismissive.
Oh, sure.
And the funny part is, and I tell this to people all the time, the best is when they block me, because that means I won. Like that means that I was right and you couldn't handle it anymore. So I win. Like that's fine.
There's a few people I can mention that are friends of ours that definitely don't get his humor still.
I'm good at this. But they take it so seriously, and I'm like, if you can't tell that I'm not, that's a you problem.
Yeah, I agree.
Whatever. Like
I
will sit there and I will bash. They're like, why are you so mad at? Why you so think Jalen Hurts is so bad? I'm like, because you like him. They're like, or I'll a regular season game, right? I'll be like, oh, the Eagles lost this game. Like, you don't care about regular season games. Like, no, I don't, but you do. So if I have to bother you, I have to bother you on your level, not on mine. What am I going to talk about? The Rangers? You don't give a shit. So what am I going to talk about that for? Like, hello, are you new here? Like,
it's 2026. You got to have thick skin.
I could never run for public office because I would just cut promos on people. That's all I would do.
Yeah, you would win, but get yourself killed. I think
I would not survive.
You would get assassinated.
Yeah. The quickest way to get me killed is to have me run for public office, where I would just go in there and say, really, that's your best idea? You've been in this job for 20 years. This is the place that we're in, and that was your best idea? You probably should kill yourself. Thank you. I'm embarrassed for you. Thank you. I literally I would be a
Donald Trump,
mixture of
man.
CM Punk and the $1 Million Man. Like that's exactly the kind of the shtick.
It worked for Trump. He was a promo machine
Listen,
in that first go around.
And I got to tell you, if Stephen A. Smith runs for president, I could see it happening again.
Yeah.
And listen, I am the first person to tell anybody who I talk to. Again, I am in a line of work where I don't talk politics. Politics is professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And if you don't see it like that, I'm sorry, but it is.
It is.
And I watch professional wrestling, and that's how I know.
Yeah.
They make the fight look really good on TV, and then when the cameras are off, they're just gonna start. They're gonna figure out the next match. Okay, what do we need to do now?
Correct. Absolutely.
Politics isn't everything anymore. If you gotta just deal with it.
Eric Bischoff said politics is more pro wrestling than pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's, again, both sides. I'm not picking a side. I don't give a shit who you voted for or who you didn't. I really couldn't care less. You have to see it for what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a side. I vote for a specific way. I really don't care. That's just the way that I vote. I don't care who you vote for. I'm glad that we can talk about it. Great. I'm maybe in the minority in that discussion because I don't hate anybody. But like, it's pro wrestling.
It is. It is. And the response of people who overly care is exactly the internet wrestling community. They go on Twitter and they make all these posts about, like,
I find ways to piss off both sides, including the side that I generally align with. Because why? Like, the why?
Yeah.
Not the purpose of this show, but that's.
I get it. Yep. I get it. You're the
and
man,
they come
bro.
at me and they try to insult me like I give a shit.
You should get you a shirt that says no.
And on that note, fans, that is reality. Not just perception.
The reality is I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I couldn't fucking care less. So it doesn't, you can insult me. Oh, I think your glasses look stupid. Okay. I like them. Thank you.
We need reality versus perception WWE shirts made up. I'm just saying. I would wear one.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Didn't someone say wasn't it Travis Scott had a wrestling is real shirt? Or something like that?
Maybe.
I am sorry. I'm glad
in retrospect, again, I cannot begin to tell you how annoying that whole thing is because, again, the 17th championship is tainted.
He had nothing to do with wrestling. That's all. It just
a TAR 20C. Mike gets it.
I am old enough to run.
Right, I've been, bro. That's been my hashtag for years.
I'm old enough to run, but I don't run anywhere. I have a car. Anyway. All right, guys, listen, thank you so much. That was fun. I'm 2 Gatorades down, which means I'll be up at 3 a.m. taking a whiz.
I'll be right there with you. Not next year, but
we will catch you on the next one. Like, follow, and share. Follow the Sports Box. We appreciate everything that you guys do to support what we do. And we'll catch you when Cody wins the championship because Drew McIntyre's not a main eventer, as I've been saying for 3.5 years now. Thank you. Have a good night.
There you go.